Okay, I would like to call to order the 7 o'clock evening session of the Nelson County Board of Supervisors. Our first order of business is public comments. Now, we actually had two different sign-up sheets in the lobby, and probably because people saw all the sign-ups on one of them, everybody is signed up for public comments. If anybody is here for the public hearing on the water rates in Piney River, now that is a different hearing. So I will go through and call out the people that are signed up for public comments. Those should be comments that refer to anything else but that. If you have something you want to say about the water rates, we'll have a separate public hearing for that later. I will save your name if you decide to pass on the first round, and we'll get to it. I hope that's clear. The rules for the public comments and the public hearing are the same, so I'll just say them once. I'll call everybody out in the order that they are signed up. When you come to the podium, please speak into the microphone, adjust it so that the folks at home can hear as well. And then you have 3 minutes to make your point. If you're representing either a group or a club or some organization, let us know when you start, and then you will have up to 5 minutes to say your piece. As we get towards the end, our timekeeper, Dr. Ligon, will let you know when you have hit the 2.5 minute mark, and then again when you're done. If she puts up the stop sign and you haven't finished yet, I'll ask you to wrap up your comments in a sentence or two, but probably no more. So those are the rules, and when you come to the podium, give your name and your address for the record so that we will have that as well. So the first person signed up is Ed McCann. Did you want to, is this for public comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do that.
Good evening, Board, County Administrator, Deputy Clerk. My name is Edward William McCann. I live at 94 Farsalia Road, Massey's Mill, Virginia, in the Western District of Nelson County. I want to share with you some good news and to actually thank you all for some things you've done that you may not realize you've done, and you need to get credit for that. On behalf of my wife, Debbie, who can't be with us tonight because she's under the weather, we want to write to you and thank you and the other members of the Nelson County Board of Supervisors to express our sincere thanks and appreciation for the outstanding service and act of kindness provided to us by the members of the Nelson County Building Inspections Department. Unfortunately, we endured a very bad experience with a well-known foundation repair contracting corporation that literally has offices throughout Virginia and the surrounding states. We want to express our deepest appreciation to each of you for hiring two specific individuals in the Building Inspections Department with whom we worked with over an extraordinarily long period of time, Mr. Jeremy Mars and Mr. Morgan Barker. Diligently worked with each crew that arrived at our home over multiple days to ensure that the work would be completed according to the Virginia Uniform Statewide Building Code. Due to multiple repeated inspection failures, the crews sent our home to perform the foundation repair work. We had the opportunity, watching the inspectors, politely explain to each of the crews what needed to be done to fix their mistakes so that the work would match the pre-approved engineer's plans for the work to be completed on their home. The inspectors would then meet with Debbie and I and explain why the inspection failed, what had been done incorrectly, and why it's crucial for the foundation to be structurally correct, as you can well imagine, for the safety of all the occupants in the home and to maintain the longevity of our home. Please understand, I've been around a lot of building inspectors in the county, and I have not experienced this polite and professional conduct from any Nelson County building official for over 40 years. The original 2 to 3 day job, they said 3 in case one of them gets sick, if you could recall, took actually 4 months and 9 different times to come out and fix things. If you recall, this past June, our county was experiencing near record dangerously high heat and humidity conditions. Our job in June required that our air conditioning system be dismantled to provide the contractors with space to work underneath the house to restore the foundation. After 5 days with no air conditioning, our county building inspectors recognized that for the sake of our health and welfare, being in the 100+ degree days, they actually came out after business hours to look at the situation and get our air conditioning hooked up on 2 different situations in June. A copy of this letter, Ms. Ligon actually put them at your stations, but I'm here tonight to earnestly thank you. I understand you had a lot to do with hiring one of those people, and thank you. And I just implore you to keep up the good work. You got to keep these people, you got to keep them focused. They're really good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next person signed up is Sean Pennell. Okay, thank you. Esther Page. Okay. Mary Vest. Okay. Wanda Presley. Okay. Stephanie Evans. Okay. Georgia Bressin. Patrick Henry Highway, Roseland. Okay, I'm sorry, what's your last name? Brown. Okay, I'm sorry, I just couldn't read it. Okay. Okay, so those are the people that I have signed up. Is there anyone else here that wants to speak during public comments? Okay, I will close the public comment period, and we will move on to our public hearing on the ordinance amendment that's dealing with utilities, water and wastewater, that's applicable to the Pioneer River system. Candy will give us an overview here.
This public hearing is, as Mr. Reed said, on proposed increases to rates, fees, and charges proposed in ordinance O2025-09, amendment to County Code Chapter 12, Utilities, Article 3, Water and Wastewater Division 10. Our applicable statutes and authorization to make these changes is Volume 3A, Title 15.2, County, Cities, and Towns of the State of Virginia, 1950 as amended, 15.2-1427, and applicable provisions of 15.2-2119, 15.2-2122, and 15.2-2143. The Board of Supervisors authorized this public hearing via Resolution R 2025-68, adopted on September 9, 2025. Public notice was provided in the Nelson County Times on September 25th and October 2nd. The public hearing was posted on the county website. Letters were mailed by United States Postal Service to 207 Piney River Water Sewer System customers on September 19th, 2025. Why are increases to rates, fees, and charges being proposed? This is to support the system's operational, maintenance, and capital investment costs. Rates have not changed since 2013, while system maintenance and capital costs have increased, requiring supplemental funding from the general fund. Proposed incremental increases of base service and grinder pump fees over the next 3.5 years lessens the financial impact to system users. It's also to incrementally align the county and Piney River water and sewer system rates with those of the Nelson County Service Authority. This is to promote the transition of the system ownership from the county to the Nelson County Service Authority, who is the entity established by the county for the purpose of providing public water and sewer service. The proposed base service and grinder pump rates for the next 3.5 years would be set by approval of the proposed ordinance amendment, with the first increase effective January 1st, 2026, and increases thereafter on July 1st, from July 1st, 2026 through July 1st, 2028. Proposed water and sewer connection fees and other fees and charges would be effective January 1st, 2026. All revenues generated through system fees and charges remain within the Piney River Water and Sewer Fund, which is a proprietary governmental accounting fund. These revenues are not utilized within the general fund for other purposes. So within our proposed ordinance O2025-09, we propose to increase the connection fees, which are shown in section 12-152, and these are shown by meter size. Our existing rates are on the left, and the rates that will be effective January 1st, 2026 are on the right. These essentially double all the way down, and these are water and sewer connection fees by meter size. The ordinance also proposes to increase the base service fees, which are shown in section 12-153. This is for the proposed rates and fees for monthly service. And you can see the existing rates are shown in the blue column under existing. And it shows a monthly minimum water usage for 4,000 gallons a month. And then it also shows the cost for additional water usage per 1,000 gallons over that $4,000 minimum, 4,000 gallon minimum. It also shows the sewer usage base service fee for 4,000 gallons, and then the per 1,000 gallon over the monthly minimum for sewer usage. So these rates are, the existing rates are, for water usage, the monthly minimum are $29.90 currently. In January 1st, that would go to $34.36. On July 1st, 2026, it would go to $38.82. July 1st of 2027, it would go to $43.28. And then July 1st of 2028, it would go to $52.20. The over minimum rate would go from $6.10 per 1,000 gallons over the minimum to $7.36 in January of 26, $8.61 in July of 26, $9.87 in July of 27, and $12.38 July of 28. The sewer usage base fee for 4,000 gallon minimum is currently $29.60 per month, which would go to $39.22 in January of 2026. Then to $48.85 in July 1st of 26, then to $58.47 July of 27, and then July 1st of 28 to $77.72. The per 1,000 gallon over the monthly minimum currently is $6.85. That would go to $7.91 in January of 26, $8.97 in July 1st of 26, and $10.03 July 1st, 27, and $12 and something, I can't do that. 15 seconds. $12.15, thank you, ma'am. July 1st of 28. Any unmetered water or sewer residential customers will be charged for $4,000 gallons per month. Next, our yard hydrant fees would increase, and this is in section 12-156. The base fee per month is currently $7.50. That would go to $48.30. The base fee allows consumption of, we would change this from 1,500 gallons per month to a base $4,000 gallons per month. Consumption over the minimum is charged at a rate specified in section 12-153. We would increase our return check fees in section 12-160. We currently assess a fee of $25. That would go to $50 for any return check, plus any actual bank charge. Section 12-164 addresses unauthorized water and sewer use fees. The initial charge would remain at $500, but there would be an additional daily charge that would change from $500 to $1,000. Section 12-165 addresses a copy of the water and sewer ordinance, which would go from $2.50 to $10. Section 12-167 addresses inspection fees. The water sewer service for first service inspection would remain at $25, and then for each additional service, the rate would go from $20 to $25, and that would be billed at the completion of the service. Section 12-169 addresses grinder pump fees. The existing grinder pump fee, which is charged per month, is $9. On January 1st, 26, it would go to $12.07. July 1st of 26, it would go to $15.14. July 1st of 2027, it would go to $18.20. And July 1st of 2028, it would go to $24.34. We are adding some new sections to conform with the Service Authority ordinance. Section 12-170, customer requested service fee. There would now be a $25 fee assessed for customer requested service for any service beyond the county's responsibility. This fee would be assessed for customer requested meter rereads unless meter error is on the part of the county. Any customer requested service would be assessed an overtime fee if service is requested during a county observed holiday or after hours. We would add section 12-171, a new service opinion fee. A $50 fee will be assessed when the county is requested to give an opinion whether an undeveloped property has the water or sewer service currently installed. If an opinion is not sufficient information, an additional fee of time and material will be charged if the service is physically located. Section 12-172, a misuse or damage fee would be implemented. The county would assess at minimum a fee of $500 to any customer who misuses their water and or sewer service, causing damage to the county's infrastructure. These fees are designed to recoup the actual cost of damages to the county's infrastructure. The Board of Supervisors has previously endorsed a long-term schedule for monthly usage and grinder pump fees through 2030 as follows. The rates shown for July 1st, 2029 and July 1st, 2030 would be set by a future ordinance following a future public hearing and are not proposed to be set by ordinance 2025-09 being considered tonight. So next steps would be for the board to conduct a public hearing and then consider adoption of 2025-09, which would amend the Code of Nelson County, Virginia, Chapter 12, Utilities, Article 3, Water and Wastewater, Division 10, effective January 1st, 2026, as proposed.
Okay. Thank you. Are there, before we go on, are there any questions or clarifications from Ms. McGarry? Okay, we'll go on to the public hearing.
I mean, I know one thing we had said we wanted to clarify at the beginning of the meeting was that this ordinance applies, or this proposal applies only to the Piney River water and sewer, not to the other sections of the county. So,
Correct.
just in case anybody's here thinking, so just.
Yes, thank you for
I'm going
that.
to clarify even further, because the other sections are already paying the increased rates. Is
That is
why.
also correct, yes. They're paying the rate set by the Service Authority.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to open the public hearing. And I will go down the list in the order that I called the first time around for all those who passed. Sean Pannell is the first person.
My name is Sean Pannell. I live at 5571 Louisville Road in Piney River. Rates were set in 2013, so before we bought our property. Is the hydrant fee for existing properties, or like if you already have a hydrant on your property, it's going to go from $7 to $48. This seems like a heck of an increase for anybody that does have a hydrant there. I'm a firefighter. I know hydrants don't get a lot of water flowing through them on a regular basis, so I just think that's a little excessive. It doesn't affect me one way or the other, but I just felt I'd have to say that. Since we lived our property, our water's been out of state compliance, we've gotten letters about it regularly. The water department comes out, tests our water weekly. We've had brown water, chlorine smell, cloudy, etc. I know there's a lot of bad wells on this side of the county. In 2015, we had 10 people living at our house, and our water was metered at that time. It was between $100 and $140. Sometimes there was only 3 of us, and it would only be $69.50. Looking at the bill somewhere around COVID, it looks like the meters got stopped being read. I know that there was an order by the government not to cut off these utilities, but also know that the county received government bailouts. Our county real estate tax assessment was done this year. We're gonna have increased taxes next year when they come out. It's gonna increase people's mortgage payments. And now our water is gonna go up about 120% in 3 years. And people that are on a restricted budget and unable to pay what they're barely paying now, I just think it's extremely excessive.
Thank you. Esther Page?
Good afternoon to the board and all of the Nelson County officials. Thank you for this opportunity. I've just come to give you a little bit of history. I'm here on behalf of the St. James Baptist Church. I myself personally, I have my own well water, but I'm a member of that church, and I just want to remind you that we are where we are today because of St. James Baptist Church. We originally started with water and sewer when everybody in Piney River was still operating off outhouses. There was no sewer system, there was no water system. They were relying on water from local farms that had water running off of their property. And then I, as a member, was a part of the Piney River Community Water Community, I can't remember the actual name, but Woody Greenberg and myself were part of that community and that organization. And we did a survey and did a lot of research in the area to see what could be done, because here we were in the year 2000 and something, and people were still having to have outhouses. They did not have inside sewer or any type of water system. So I remind you and give you a little bit of that history. And to piggyback what Mr. Pennell just said as well, you know, you're in an area where there's so poverty. People just cannot afford this rate increase right now. And with things that are going on, even with the shutdown of the government, it's affecting everybody in that area. And people are going to be losing their benefits as far as Medicaid, or they're going to find that they can't no longer get food stamps because of the shutdown right now. So that's going to hit them as well. But also, just financially in that area in Piney River, I think this increase will really affect a lot of the residents there. Speaking on behalf of the St. James Baptist Church, we're a small rural church. We're excited, we're glad to have the water and sewer inside of our church, because we too were still operating with outside facilities as well. So yes, we do appreciate this, but to come with this cost of $10 per year, and I don't know if you've been to church recently, but churches are not as packed as they used to be. The number of members that are attending is not like it used to be. So funding for churches as well is not something that you can easily afford. So I ask that you would reconsider the increase, or I'd just like to know, have you even considered any type of exceptions for churches? And in the Piney River area, is it the only church that's on that system? Is it St. James, or are there any others? Do you know? Anybody? Because I believe it is just St. James that's on there in the Piney River area, so to the best of my knowledge.
Possibly Rose Union.
Rose Union? Okay, well, I hope that they will make their comments known as well. Maybe they're okay with it, but I'm just here to say to you all that I ask that you reconsider it. I don't know what your other options are. I see you trying to merge in with the Service Authority, and they do great work. But at this time, I ask that, you know, you do hold off on the increase. Maybe give us another year, you know. I'm not saying things will get better, but I think financially it will affect a lot of the residents in Piney River. So I speak not only on behalf of the church, but as on behalf of the residents as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mary Vest? Okay. Wanda Presley? Stephanie Evans?
Mr. Chairman, while Stephanie's coming up, I just think it's important for the public to know, we're not ignoring conversation with you. During a public hearing, we don't engage in back and forth conversation with the public. So if we sit here and not answering you, that's why. So
Thank you.
just make sure people understand.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm Stephanie Evans. I live at 1121 Tybrook Highway in Piney River, Virginia. I'm single, one income, taking care of one person for one household. Doesn't go very far. I feel like these increases are unreasonably high. AEP and Central Virginia, they raised their rates 3.8, 4.6%. I'm a state employee. We got a 3% raise increase in July. Social Security got a 2.5% increase for cost of living. I can't keep up with a 25% increase for January, and then it's gonna be another $17 on top of that by July, and then by the following January, I did total these increases, so $68.50 is gonna go to $85.65. I feel like when you break it down into the chart, you can't really see it. By July, I would be paying $102.81 by July of this coming year. That's just more than an increase that I have in my budget. I just don't know where I'm gonna get it from. I don't know what to cut to make my ends meet. You know, I don't get my nails done, I'm not doing my hair, I'm paying for reasonable things. Homeowner's insurance, car insurance, I'm paying for mortgage and taxes and, you know, unless I pull it out of my retirement, I don't know where I'm gonna get it from, and I know I'm not alone. I'm not the only person who is working poor. And I can't keep up with these numbers. I don't know when you went through Piney River last, we're low income. It's not Stony Creek. Our utilities aren't buried. We don't have paved driveways. We're struggling, and we can't do this. And if you aren't gonna reconsider all of these rates, I feel like you should try to get in line with other counties, other areas, because they're not charging these kind of rates for waters. Albemarle's increase is gonna go up to $70.23. Waynesboro's paying $72.94. City of Charlottesville's paying $83.45. Greene County's paying $103. That's the top of the mark. They're billing for 3,000 gallons, which I feel is substantial. I'm single, I don't use 4,000 gallons, and I don't think most people do. I just can't keep up with it. If you can't reevaluate this rate increase, I think you should at least try to figure out how you can make it more in line with people who aren't using this water. You know, I don't use that much, and I can't pay these prices. That's all, thank you.
Thank you. Georgia Brown?
Good evening. I am Georgia Brown, and I live at 4533 Patrick Henry Highway, Roseland, Virginia. And my main concern is these extremely high prices. I'm very concerned. Of course, I am living off Social Security. I work a couple days a week, and not only for me, for others too. And I'm concerned about myself, the other residents of the Piney River area. This is really a steep height that you all plan to take or are seeking to take in the future. And I'm just hoping that you'll reconsider before doing this. What will happen to people that cannot pay their septic bill? Right now, I have a private well, but I'm on the septic. What will happen if we can't pay it? And I know, some people will not, and I could be one of those people not able to pay it. And I'm sure you all will answer this at some point in time. So please reconsider before you hike these prices so fast.
Thank you. I can't quite read the first name, but also Ms. Brown. Is there another Ms. Brown that wants to speak?
Roberta.
Roberta. Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you.
I'm Roberta Brown, and I live at 4636 Patrick Henry Highway, and I'm in the Piney River area, and I'm speaking on behalf of myself and some of the other elderly residents of the county that couldn't come out tonight. So I've been contemplating, writing down little notes, so you all bear with me. Many of us are retired in the area, and some are working hard. We are older residents of our community, and we have spent our lives contributing to the area and the county, and now live on a fixed income. I've lived here all my life, paid taxes, raised a family, and supported our neighbors. Like many seniors in our area, we survive on Social Security, so every dollar matters. Raising water and sewage right now would be a heavy blow. The cost of living has skyrocketed. Groceries, gas, electricity, and medical care are more expensive than ever. Many of our elderly neighbors are already choosing between keeping the heat on. Adding higher utilities to that is unfair. With a rural county and area, we all don't have the luxury of absorbing a rate of heights, and we shouldn't be punished for living simply and aging with dignity. We understand that the county needs maintenance, but there must be a better way, one that doesn't put the greatest strain on those least able to bear. We urge you to consider an alternative phase increase, income-based building, or seek state or federal grants to offer costs. Please don't balance budget on backs of our seniors. We have earned better. Thank you.
Thank you. So those are all the people that had signed up for the public hearing. Is there anyone else present who would like to speak at this public hearing on this issue? Okay. In that case, I will close the public hearing. And now it's time for us to consider if we have any other business for tonight. So is there consideration of what we should do? We have a proposal in front of us to adopt the rate structure that's been put forward. Wonder if the board has any discussion before we go forward with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Great.
So first of all, I want to thank and commend our community. You all are looking at quite a few residents from the Piney River area here tonight, so thank you all for coming out and speaking your piece and supporting your neighbors. Ms. Page, I remember when you and Woody worked on that. In fact, I don't know what phase of the project. I don't think I was involved in the first phase, but I can remember going around with a clipboard and interviewing residents and asking about their water use and their sewer needs and all that back in the 2000s. I'm pretty sure it was that same time because I don't think I was on the Board of Supervisors or on the school board yet when that happened. So that happened in 2003. So I remember working that, and a lot of work went into this. And the reason that so much work went into this system is not because we wanted a luxury of public water and sewer in Piney River. It was because we had a public safety issue. The land in Piney River doesn't perk. Many of us would have raw sewage, myself included. You would have raw sewage floating on the ground when your drain fields were overloaded. So to me, this system can't be compared to the other systems in the county. Our residents needed it for health and safety of the community. I don't support the rate increases. What I do support is a small I don't know who said the 3 to 4%. Yes, that I understand. And you know, we have kicked this can, the previous board and this board, we've kicked this can since 2013. We need to implement a regular increase, just like every other thing that you have is going to have a 3 to 5% rate increase. I completely support that, and I agree. I don't think it's fair that we have 15 years worth of problem that we're trying to catch up in 6 years. And so I've said that before. In fact, a couple of months ago, anybody watches the board meetings, you can go back and watch. I got pretty heated in my concern on this issue. So please understand that I'm with you, and I understand where you're coming from. Again, this system is not a for-profit. I don't think we should look at this system as a for-profit business like the Service Authority looks at that system, because we have a public safety issue that in a public health crisis that was resolved because of the implementation of this system. I want us as a board to take a step back. I want us to reevaluate our options. Number one, there's no requirement that says we have to turn this system over to the Nelson County Service Authority. And I think in fairness to the community, I think we should not do that because of the difference in the needs. I do think that we should evaluate rate increases. We also need to implement some sort of, as someone said, an income-based rate structure, something to give relief to our elderly and fixed income residents. And I think that's all of my notes that I made. But that's where I am on this. I think we have more work to do, and so I recommend we take no action tonight and include this in more of our budget discussions moving forward. That's all I have.
I agree with Mr. Parr. We should probably have further discussion before we take action. And if there's no other business, I'm prepared to continue.
Okay.
We're
I think
continuing.
we have general agreement about this, that taking no action tonight is appropriate. So
We're continuing to the 22nd at what time?
And before we move on to that, I just want to say to my constituents here tonight, please don't think that taking no action tonight means we're going to wait till y'all aren't here and then we're going to take action. That's not what we're doing. And I assure you, I will be communicating with you all and letting you know when we get to a point that we're going to bring this up again. I'll make sure to get the word out. I don't know if anybody here follows the Piney River community page that I set up on Facebook. I posted about this back on September 23rd. I hope you all saw that, and I hope that was helpful. And I assure you I'll do the same when we have something else coming up. And then maybe you all, anybody that's not on social media, you can have sort of a little phone tree among your neighbors and let people know as things come up. But I will keep you in the loop. That's all. Sorry.
oh, no.
Now back to you,
No,
Mr. Reed.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So we need if there's no other business, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn and continue until October 22nd.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. We'll take a roll call.
Trillian,
Yep.
Mr. Parr,
Yes.
Mr. Rutherford,
Aye.
Mr. Reed.
Yes. Okay, we adjourn till October